Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel reiterates vigilance in the face of accumulating threats. The Israeli Mossad intelligence agency releases footage from an interrogation of an IRGC assassin incriminating Iran's efforts to murder Israelis on European soil. The European Union is stepping up efforts to pressure Iran, threatening to end benefits which the Islamic Republic continues to enjoy from the 2015 nuclear agreement. The State of Israel is no stranger to unrelenting efforts by its enemies to realize its destruction. Nevertheless, speaking at an IDF pilot's course graduation ceremony, Israeli President Yitzhak Herzog highlighted Israel's proven resilience during its 75 years of existence.
It is no secret that the state of Israel is constantly threatened, from the days of its establishment until this very day, at the hands of enemies who stand against our very existence, led, at this time, by the Iranian Ayatollah regime. As has been proven in the past year, beyond any doubt in the Middle East, Europe, and all over the world, Iran is an octopus that sends out tentacles of terror and hatred and threatens world stability in a continuous and very real way. Wherever Iran's fingerprints are found, there is devastation, destruction, suffering, and violation of human dignity. The conclusion is clear. We must stand against Iran in a determined way, as a united international community, and first and foremost prevent it from acquiring nuclear weapons by any means.
Also addressing the pilot's graduation ceremony, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seized the opportunity to express Jerusalem's vigilance to guarantee its force preparedness in the face of a wide array of threats.
We are wary of complacency. We maintain full attention, vigilance, and readiness vis-à-vis the entire spectrum of threats.
Netanyahu went on to address the Iranian threat, reiterating Jerusalem's refusal to accept any emerging arrangement between Washington and Tehran.
Our guiding principle is, whoever tries to harm us, we will harm them with great force. We are working without respite against the attempts of Iran and its proxies to open terrorist fronts against us in Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, and in Judea and Samaria. We are also working against Iran's efforts to develop terrorist cells and capabilities in neighboring countries, which are not countries in conflict with us. We will not allow Iran to establish itself on our borders. We will not allow it to build precision weapons factories in Lebanon and Syria. And, of course, we will not accept Iran's intentions to develop a nuclear arsenal. Even if an agreement is signed between the U.S. and Iran regarding the latter's nuclear program, we will not be bound by this agreement. We will maintain our right and our obligation to defend ourselves with our own forces against any threat whatsoever throughout the Middle East. The Air Force has and will have a very important role in this.
Netanyahu's remarks about Israeli activity against Iran's efforts to develop terrorist cells and capabilities in neighboring countries was made after the Israeli Mossad intelligence agency released a statement in which it revealed details of an operation that thwarted an Iranian-led terror cell in Cyprus that intended to carry out an attack against an Israeli businessman. Following the attempted assassination, which failed after a manhunt by local security services forced the assassin to flee back to Iran, the Mossad launched a counter-terror operation on Iranian soil, during which its agents successfully apprehended the head of the IRGC terror cell and interrogated him at the scene, which effectively produced a detailed confession.
The first time I entered northern Cyprus via Mr. Hassan Stiri was because, before I arrived in Cyprus, he discussed with me what he was planning to do in Cyprus. Stiri told, "You need to enter northern Cyprus, where we have certain people who can smuggle you from there into southern Cyprus." He told me himself, "I trust them and their group, since they have carried out very important activity for me. That is, they have carried out an assassination in the past and got rid of someone. That is why I am comfortable working with the Pakistani cell, and I trust them." I replied, "If it is possible, I will carry out this mission immediately." He replied, "Wait, it is not possible yet, as there are policemen searching for you." That night, Stiri said to me, "If you can, hide the weapon in their home," and I agreed.
The Iranian assassin further confirmed that the IRGC directed every step with the intention of killing an Israeli target.
I received my target via a WhatsApp interface that I received from the IRGC intelligence organization. That's how I received a photo from Mr. Stiri and the GPS route to the house where the target lives.
Before managing to kill his target, the IRGC found out that Cypriot police launched a manhunt after the purported assassin and consequently ordered him to return to Iran via Istanbul, Turkey. It is further important to know that the information which the interrogation produced triggered an operation by Cypriot security services, which included a number of arrests last week. Moreover, this is not the first time that the IRGC attempted to assassinate Israelis on European soil, including in Cyprus in particular, where a similar attack was successfully thwarted in October of 2021. Similarly, in July of last year, the Mossad intelligence agency captured senior IRGC official Yadollah Khedmati on Iranian soil and interrogated him about weapons shipments to Iran's proxies in Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen, which produced substantive information related to Tehran's malign activities in the region. Meanwhile, a senior Mossad official said following the latest quote, "We will reach whoever foments terrorism against Jews and Israelis around the world, including on Iranian soil." Turning to Washington, where U.S. State Department Matthew Miller was asked about the revelation of the Mossad regarding Iran's unceasing attempts to target Israelis.
So I would just say, obviously, we have noted on a number of occasions Iran's destabilizing actions in the region and around the world. We continue to condemn those. We continue to counter them. But I don't have any comment with respect to this specific report that you're referring to.
Meanwhile, a report published overnight revealed that the U.S. State Department's Special Envoy for Iran, Rob Malley, led indirect negotiations with the Islamic Republic on reviving the 2015 nuclear agreement or Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, has been placed on leave without pay after his security clearance was suspended amid an investigation into his handling of classified materials. And while Matthew Miller confirmed that Rob Malley was on leave, merely several hours earlier at the State Department's daily press briefing, he insisted that Malley remained in his role as Special Envoy for Iran.
So he's still the Special Envoy
for Iran? He is the Special, he is.
Even though others are involved in the portfolio?
Correct.
It is important to know that Malley, who was appointed as Special Envoy for Iran about a week after President Joe Biden took office in 2021 and was spearheading American concessions in disregard to voiced concerns in both Israel and the Arab Gulf states, has been sidelined, with Senior National Security Council official Brett McGurk assuming point and Abraham Pally effectively assuming the role of acting Special Envoy for Iran. Meanwhile, Europe is stepping up pressure on the Islamic Republic of Iran, according to two European diplomats who confirmed initial reports by the London-based Reuters news agency that the European Union intends to retain its ballistic missile sanctions on the Ayatollah regime in response to Iranian shipments of drones to Russia, which are then utilized against Ukraine, and separate reports of Tehran's intentions to transfer ballistic missiles to Russia for that same purpose. Moreover, the European Union is also considering to essentially deprive Iran from any benefits related to the 2015 nuclear agreement, since the Ayatollah regime is clearly unwilling to resolve the matter via diplomatic means. Nevertheless, the latter move will be advanced only in collaboration with the United States. Therefore, asked whether Washington would back Europe's reported intentions, State Department spokesman Miller said the following.
I will say we have made no changes to our sanctions with respect to Iran, but Iran's development and proliferation of ballistic missiles poses a serious threat to regional and international security and remains a significant non-proliferation challenge. We will continue to work with our partners and allies, including the E3 and the EU, to counter the threat posed by Iran's ballistic missile capacity, irrespective of the UN sanctions. We will continue to use all our tools, including sanctions, export controls, and other tools, to counter the further advancement of Iran's ballistic program and its ability to proliferate missiles and related technology to others. And I will add that we will continue to raise our concerns, including at the UN and in other public forums, about Iran's ballistic missile activities and the need for concerted action to counter them.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. Until we return and resume our broadcast, I would like to encourage you, keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you again on the 31st of July for TV7 Israel News at the same time.
Alfa